all ascended 2.7 billion years ago. Now they're in the 6th density. And then, the people who are their aliens are all in the 8th density. So and so I guess they become kind of like a higher mind, like connected, telepathically connected to each other, almost like they're one group. Now the people who was talking through Ra, the Ra who was channeling through the person was actually an individual. It wasn't like the whole Ra society was talking together. So there are individuals, but they all are connected as if they are one individual. So it's kind of interesting to think, and if you do maybe have like a psychic idea of like everybody, it's all one. Like if you want to go higher up in your highest self, the higher self of you actually is the same higher self as somebody else. So that's kind of freaky to think about. But if you look at somebody, your soul is their soul. It's the same soul if you go high enough. So it's kind of like the branching of a tree. You go down, follow the tree down to the trunk. It's kind of, so maybe, and people do, we are headed in that direction. If you look at the internet, we're all kind of becoming like one mind. You can even analyze it to like we have so-and-so billions of brain cells in our brain, and each brain cell is like its own entity, but it's all connected to this one brain, which is one entity. And so when we have just as much people connected to the internet and communicating their ideas on YouTube, and their voting record and all this stuff, and communicating with the idea, then it'll be like one brain, and we'll all become like one brain. We'll all integrate and agree until we all agree on one thing, and then we won't even need the computer. It'll be like trans alchemy. We'll be able to like telepathically communicate with each other, and then that'll even grow higher up until we all can completely telepathically communicate with each other, and then we're almost like one unit, one soul, and we can all travel together. And it's like, so Venus, if you look at Venus, maybe you could look at Venus like when Venus talks through somebody, and I was kind of tripping out about this, but when Venus talks through somebody, the raw person is speaking, and you're asking this entity questions, and it's answering you. It's kind of like you're asking Venus itself, the planet. So it's kind of like you look up at Venus and you see it, and you're asking the question, and you're actually asking a planet, and the planet itself is talking to you. That takes like looking at a inanimate object as an animate object, communicating to you on your level to a whole new level. So yeah, I have my computer here, so let's see if I remember anything else that they said in their book, because I did, they do have it divided up, and I'm not connected to the internet now, so I can only see the main page and not break it down into the divisions of the pages, which is good, or else I'll be here all night talking. I'm still waiting for my computer to wake up. Fell asleep. Okay, here we are. So archetypal mind is one of them. So yeah, that's like, they said like logos, like you have like, it's like the Akashic Record. They said that Edgar Cayce talked through the Akashic Record, which is kind of like the library. It's like the internet. Like if you want to, basically the internet is the Akashic Record. It's the sphere of knowledge out there that has the knowledge, in all of the computer databases. But it's like if you want to know something, you Google it and you have the answer there. But you can also get into your higher mind psychically. If you want to know something, you get into it and it's all stored there. There's like units of information stored there. So that's what Edgar Cayce was doing. He wasn't actually, another spirit wasn't possessing him and talking through him, but he was just going into a trance, and he was actually tapping into that himself. So there's different archetypes, and so yeah, they were talking about tarot cards. They were saying that they actually invented tarot cards back in the day of the ancient Egyptians and ancient Sumerians back. There's 22 archetypes, and I think they said there are 22 archetypes of personalities. So that's why the tarot cards are actually formulated after that. Like the fool is the person who just doesn't care and just goes down because they have faith, even though they don't know what's beyond. And then you have the sorcerer who does this. I haven't studied tarot, but I'm actually really interested in tarot now, since the aliens say that they invented it and that you can use those to divinate. And I think David Wilcock was talking about that. Like if you look at the deck, you look at all the cards, you study them, and then you turn them over, and your higher mind can actually see through the deck and knows what the card is, and kind of like subconsciously makes you choose which card to choose to show you what direction you're going and what you're actually believing and stuff. So, I know the Urania book will be against that, but man, I'm into the tarot cards now because of that. So that's what the archetypal mind is. So like you would get You know, and so I kind of like about talking about like astrology is the same way. Astrology comes back from way back in the day when we were, you know, back in the Rama Empire, that got the information got recycled again in the Mahabharata and the Vedas, that teach about all the different 22 archetypes, and also the astrology with all the different houses and all the different signs and stuff. And so, like, why are so many people have been so interested in astrology, and where did the original knowledge come from? Well, it got passed down from ancient days, passed through, and people believe it because their higher mind actually can relate to that, and they feel it. And then from time to time, you have somebody channel and reteach you and relearn you, and so that's just a legacy of basically astrology is the highest form of astronomy. It's just knowing that the various positions of the planets and the point that you're born and you take your first breath, that's when you become conscious and alive. And like that's the general vibe of the earth at that moment. And that's what impresses you. And so then that's how a Capricorn, you know, has these personality tendencies throughout their life. Is kind of like, you know, what were you doing the first time you got stoned? And then every time you get stoned after that, you want to do the thing you were doing the first time you got stoned, you know. Some people smell a certain smell while they're trying to memorize something, and then they go to school and they smell that smell to activate that part of their brain because it brings you back into that mind. Like dreams, and they even talking about this. If you get into dream world and you read about your dream you had last night in a really long dream, then you'll be able to remember all your dreams you had throughout your entire life. So it's like, yeah, when you're born at when the placements, that's the general vibe, and because you're so impressionable, because that's your first breath, your first experience of life, that will carry through with you through your whole life and kind of shape in a way your personality. So. And maybe give you these different archetypes. So there's these 12 houses, 22 different signs, I don't know. So then they're talking about books. I went through that. Definitions, I can't go into that. Earth present, I don't know. Healing, I don't know. Meditation, they said there's no specific type of meditate. Meditation is just, you know, contemplating on something. Not answered, I can't remember that. People, yeah, they said that, you know, I talked about those other ones, I guess. Roosevelt, he was a good guy. They were talking about also like chakras. And different chakra has to do with a different color. Now, to hear like some foo-foo hippie talk about, oh yeah, different chakra, different color, you know, girls are into that. I'm like, I don't know what fucking color magenta is, or what color celeste is, or whatever. It's like, you know, but I guess all your different chakras do correspond to a different color. And so if you put like a purple rock on top of your purple head chakra, that color will actually help activate that chakra because of the color. Like it actually is related. And they do correspond to a different shape too. So maybe if you can envision that shape, a configuration of spiral coming down into you, that is the color of the chakra. It can actually help you open up your chakra that way. And now that I'm talking about chakras, yeah, they did say that you do want to activate all your different chakras because those are all the different connections to all the different higher dimensions of existence. But it's more important to integrate your chakras than it is to overactivate one chakra. And that is expressed as like addiction. Like sex addiction would be overactivating, stimulating your red chakra, your sex chakra. And so, you know, with the earth being unbalanced lately, you know, men are just too addicted to sex, and so then the women have to like shut that off, and then they blast open their, I guess, emotional chakra, and then so they get their feelings hurt by the end. It's just like all like, you know, unbalanced. So, you know, and I guess that's black magic. Like evil people can get control of other people by overactivating their yellow and their red chakra, by having all this power, personality power, but they have no green and red chakra open, which is their heart, which is, you know, I guess blue chakra, heart chakra is you, or I guess blue chakra is maybe your throat, where you say what you know, but if you don't have that open, you can't say what you really know, so you're not in connection with the higher self, and you don't have your heart chakra open, the green chakra, so you you can't empathetically feel with anybody, but you only have your yellow and your red open, so you're just like overbearing, and so you don't want to like